And hello everyone, welcome back to the DreamHack SC2 Masters 2022 Atlanta. We are in the main event right here, and we have already started our next best of three. We were trying to catch a breather, but these guys, they know we got to get through this thing here at some point, of course. In the top left side, we got the great American hero. It is the Red Brodels from Team Ting, Neeb.
He's on onside.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh my god. It just keeps happening.
It's been 9.5 hours. All right. I'll give you a break. I also said that Solar was from Kaizi Gaming last series. So
yeah, no, we've been saying that for 3 series in a row.
And in the team kill, ladies and gentlemen, also from Onside Gaming, he's the blue Zerg. His name is Solar.
There he is.
Oh man. So
this would be so much easier if we had time before the logo.
So obviously, we've had some stuff finish up before that we didn't get to talk about because we didn't really have a break. So I'm going to talk about it now. And people will just have to deal with it if they're watching it on the VOD afterwards.
Yeah, it's fine.
On YouTube. So anyway, what has happened in the time that it took for Solar Gumiho to finish? Well, it was the longest series in that first set of matches, but Hero has already advanced from Group C.
Wait,
Hero got a 2-0 over Hearthstone, a 2-0 over Trigger, and has already advanced. He's already out and into the playoff bracket. Clem as well, 2-0 over Geralt, 2-0 over Creator.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we did have 2 players speed run their groups while Solar and Gumiho were duking it out. We also have had Haas, Geralt, Lambo, and Special all drop down 0-2 and move into that knockout bracket where they are currently playing to try and qualify in those 8 qualification spots.
I just don't understand how there can be so much of like a clear time delusion, or how's that called again? You know what I mean. You know where time goes differently because you're in a different part of space, or you're traveling at a different speed than the planets or something like that. Right, or because you're in such a big gravitational, right? Yeah. How is it possible that this is happening when they're all in the same place? Tell me this, Titan.
Listen, we've been on our own timeline here for a while now. Okay, we
drag them down with us.
Yeah. While other groups are going to their decider matches, no, we're in the winner's match. People watch the stream,
they watch us talk in slow motion. We just don't realize. Oh, it's already been 20 minutes. Oh man.
Right, no. Obviously, you know, it would have been nice if we had been able to catch one of the other groups, but just because Solar versus Gumiho took so long, we kind of had to stick with it now. Cyril Bunny, I believe, did already start, and I think, if I'm not wrong, from what I've heard, Bunny is actually in the lead there, which, I really wish we could have caught that series. That one I was super excited about.
Sorry.
It's not our fault.
Yeah, no, it happens.
It's for Solar and Gumiho playing good games. Like, what is this? Top level StarCraft 2?
I guess so.
Yeah, ridiculous. But other than that, we also see Time has gone 0-2. He did end up dropping to Ryung in the losers match, where Ragnarok and Laser are facing off in the winners match of Group F. And then the only other group that is on a similar timeline to ours is Group H, with Estrella, Scarlet, DRG, and Mana, who have the 2 PBZs. And as I said, if there's any group that's going to take a while, it's that one is Solar. This is an interesting little push here. 2 Oracles actually out for Neeb. And so, yeah, those Circlings are not really going to be able to do altogether that much.
Yeah, but
I'm interested to see.
They keep the Oracles on the other side, and most of that energy was actually spent on them as well, so Solar's going to be able to drone up rather safely behind this right now because of those Zerglings.
Yeah. Blink on the way, so we aren't going to see charge like we did see from someone like Hearthstone, who was kind of had a propensity for that charge opening. And we're also seeing a Neeb go up to 3 Oracles, which is, it really is just a personal preference. If you go 2 or 3 Oracles, 2 of course is enough to one-shot probes. 3 gives you a bit of an ability to actually focus down Queens if there's only 1 or 2 in the spot where your Oracles are attacking in. So Neeb just deciding, hey, he wants a little bit more of the fighting power. At the same time, he's going to be preparing for his +1 blink timing attack behind it. And that +1 blink timing attack, man, it is just... It's kind of what you have been expecting. You know, it's the common build, it's standard. And I really like it, especially off the back of the opening that Neeb has done, which is this very quick third base, very, very safe opening with the oracles. Everything just kind of working together very, very nicely for him.
Solar, on the other hand, kind of just looking around with the Zerglings, figuring out what he's going to be going up against, and traveling down a regular route. I'm imagining we're going to see the Lingbane, potentially Hydra there as well, out of his side of things, and yeah, just slowly starting to prep up his creep spread. He's got a fair amount of creep tumors, maybe at his 4th base, you know, we may need to have a little bit more, but overall looking alright. But that's quite a couple of Stalkers and a fair couple of Zerglings on the other side, trying to force in more reinforcements there, rather on his side of the field. And there we go, Zergling numbers are increasing slowly but surely. Oracles should be able to deal with them relatively easily. Solar keeps that base alive and pushes this away. I'm not sure if Neeb necessarily had to run away there, but I mean, he knows this better than I do, so makes that decision.
4 more gateways. Yeah, 4 more gateways on the way. I mean, the initial push out here with the Stalkers is not really meant to get that much damage, especially without the +1. As a few Stalkers getting caught out here is actually very, very bad for Neeb. He's going to lose, I think, just the 2, it looks like, but he's going to have to try and transition out of it, but
yeah, not a tremendous amount of HP anymore on those Oracles, right? So maybe that's why I kind of miscalculated that in my head overall, because I still feel like you just turn those Oracles on and those Zerglings just disappear. Then you have the Stalkers versus the Queens, and that seems to be an okay battle there for Neeb. But yeah, of course, you got to keep in mind those Queens are going to try to target down those Oracles ASAP. Turn them on, Neeb. Turn on those beams.
Yep. As now Neeb trying to focus down this hatchery is going to be able to get it. No cancel from Solar.
Ooh. Desperate recall, trying to get himself out of that location. 2 Stalkers left behind. Another one killed off as well, but overall okay. That was a 5th base, however, right? That wasn't a 4th base. That was the 5th base, but the 5th base for Neeb aligning rather closely now with the 5th base of Solar. So overall, that still seems very positive for me, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And Neeb is actually setting up a 2-pronged attack here. Has charge launch that are going to move out as soon as that finish upgrade is going to try and hit the 3rd base here of Solar, which really does not have a lot of defenses there. Queens are moving over, but a lot of the army has been brought over to deal with these Stalkers, which are just trying to be annoying, trying to distract, and especially with killing that base, you know, Neeb or Solar really needs to get it up. But look at this, actually, the Zealots just absolutely chewing through everything, and now it's just the Stalkers, and we're gonna have to see these those Hydras run away as the Zealots are, I mean, picked off on the other side with the Banelings, but still not the whole army here for Solar. That means that, again, Neeb is just going to commit on in. Neeb, 2 places at once, almost winning both engagements.
Yeah, but Solar keeping things alive for the time being. Still, it does feel a bit peculiar for him now. He's behind on the workers. A slight edge in the overall army supply, but that's about where it ends. Has managed to get the Hydralisk up, and as the Hydralisk count grows, I feel like he should do very well against gateway-based armies. Hydra's really, really strong against Stalkers, good against Zealots as well. Yeah, and most of Neeb's army is based on those gateways for the time being, right? He doesn't have any type of splash damage, which could become troublesome here against Lingbane Hydra, but we'll see.
Baneling run by gets so much damage there. Yes, Neeb was not paying attention. 21 probes go down. The Baneling's actually still trying to roll in to find more damage, but a good warp in here of Stalkers is going to deny that. Still, though, very, very annoying there. Neeb, more Zealot run bys. If this base goes down, actually, that 3rd hatchery is just going to fall. Very, very nicely done. Neeb finding a bit more damage. Also, though, the 5th? No way. I mean, you just commit the Stalkers. That's right. No, he doesn't want to. But still, I mean, these bases going down is really big for Neeb, slowing
stuff
down.
coming in. Oh, no. Okay, nice. Has to rotate around quite quickly. No, still sends the Oracle. I mean, maybe, no, goes for the drones instead. All guaranteed kill damage right there. There is a lot of Hydralisk in the neighborhood. Anyway, that hatchery dangerously low. It's going to be so difficult for Solar to not have a good amount of units there and feel safe, right? Either that or he needs to spend a lot of that energy on the screens right now to try and transfuse and put it up to a place where you can leave that hatchery alone for a couple of seconds.
Yeah. Here we go. Zealot run by once again, going to get cleaned up by the Banelings. Solar doing a good job of constantly countering that pressure, but now we're seeing Neeb. I mean, behind all this, he's gotten up 5 bases. He's working with +2. Has also added on the Archons. This will just allow this army to fight so much better. Stalkers need to blink back here so they're not taking a brunt of this force. And actually, as you said, as the Hydras, they just get more and more. It's so much harder for Neeb to take these small little engagements.
Yeah.
Like the Hydras just are absolutely insane, or they do so much DPS in these small numbers.
Yeah, they're kind of like Marines in a sense, right? Just a bit bigger, but yeah, and Zerg. But they're similar to Marines in that respect as how you treat them with the way they deal damage. The way they clump up, they're not that wide overall, so they clump up quite easily, and the more you have of them, the damage just scales up quite quickly in comparison to units that are bigger, such as Stalkers, right?
Yeah. So there we go. So, I mean, right now, looking at these economies, both players are sitting at 5 bases, but Neeb is the first one to try and take a 6th. And if you know anything about StarCraft 2, I mean...
Sorry.
It's alright, it's alright. 8 probes going down, a nice run by once again there by Solar. But, you know, at this point, if Neeb is allowed to get up this 6th base, then it is really terrible position for Solar. And so we're seeing now, yeah, Solar, he needs to try and knock down the base. He can't allow Neeb to get that up while he's also looking to take the gold base at the bottom of the map. And that gold base can be so influential as this game gets later and later. But still, we're seeing, I mean, even economies for these players, and that's just never a situation where Solar, I think, is going to feel comfortable. And we've seen that even when he pushes out, he's never really committing to attacking and to trying to, you know, take a fight.
Yeah. I'm just very surprised that we still haven't seen Storm or something like that, right? At all from Neeb. Yeah. There's no shortage of making High Templar, but they're all transformed into Archons immediately. Circlings into the natural base and the main base actually getting a lot of value there as the probes are starting to fall. Production might be in a bit of trouble as Neeb's army units decide that the efforts need to be refocused on the front. As
I don't know if this is the right call. I mean, the Zealots go down. Neeb's trying to commit on in, but Solar, the counterattack has completely wiped out the Naturals. Baneling's rolling on into the Archons. They don't have any shield upgrades, so they're slowly starting to fall, but still they're able to knock down a lot of the Hydras. I just don't think it's going to be enough as Solar, it feels like making the right moves here. Now Zealots warped into the back of the Natural, but the Archons are starting to go down. The Hydras from the back are just doing so much damage, and Neeb's army is falling to pieces. As the Natural's been cleaned out, Neeb, he gets a base, but in return, he's going to lose almost his entire army.
Okay, Warprison is preoccupying Solar still. And we're seeing some of the drones fall as well. But, yeah, it's not going to give Neeb any confidence
GG.
anymore. GG is called. Well played there by Solar. Takes game number 1.
Yeah. And as an update for people on matches that I don't believe we were able to cover, I think some people are saying in chat even that Cyril, or that Bunny, actually I think beat Cyril?
Really?
If I'm not wrong, that's what I'm hearing. I don't know, though. I don't know.
It happens, man. It happens. Sometimes, you know, being the best means losing one game, I guess, as well.
Well, also, you know, the Bun is pretty good.
He is.
I will say it.
Good.
Listen, I am the biggest Bunny fanboy that you're ever gonna meet. So I'm just gonna say it. I'm not surprised.
Not surprised.
I mean, a little bit surprised, but still, yeah. I am excited to see if that is actually true, the result of that series, if Bunny did actually beat Cyril. We'll see. That should be updated pretty soon. But I think what's also really interesting to note, Showtime actually advanced in first out of his group, took down Hero Marine, so has advanced on into the main stage event.
Yeah, and Hero Marine beating Zaun as well, so... That seems like quite an exciting group right now. Special already on the lowest side of things. Mana on the lowest side of things. Time as well. Lambo, Mio Maika, Geralt and Haas. All those players are going to have to move into the knock-out bracket. It's uncertain, however, whether they're going to be on the third or fourth spots of this group. Which you know... makes a difference, because one of them puts you in the knockout bracket round 6, and the other one in the round 5. So you're gonna have to go up against someone from that group, regardless, afterwards as well. Okay, here we go. Another game has started. Let me hop us with a little hop and a scotch, and the button being pressed right there. There we go. Lovely job. Now, who won that game again? Was it Solar? It was Solar, correct?
Yes, it was Solar.
Right. Lovely, lovely. Okay, in the bottom left side, we have from Onside Gaming, the red Protoss player, hailing from the place that they're playing at right now, the NA region. It is Neeb. And funnily enough, you know, he's one of the best players from the NA region, but he doesn't really represent the NA region well, I would say. But it's a controversial opinion all of a sudden. Anyway, continue onwards.
Yeah. You gotta drop sometimes a few hot takes. Ladies and gentlemen, top right-hand corner, one of the most consistent Zergs of all time, I would say. Is consistently at a level where he gatekeeps. You have to beat Solar if you want to be considered one of the best. From Onside Gaming, it's Solar.
I feel like Haas should have been the greatest NA region Protoss in a way, right? No?
I mean, I think the spirit of NA really was with Haas, but
yeah,
he made it his own thing, so you know you can't really say that. I'd say. Anyway, yeah, and Solar got that game one. That was again. These games have been the way that Solar plays that kind of results in this style that's very much a war of attrition, where it's just lots of little fights, lots of battles, and as it drags out, even if it's close, you eventually see him start to win some of these engagements. And I think his decision making is some of the best in the game, and we saw that there with the end where he commits to that counterattack, finds some damage, and then eventually brings back everything in time to smash through Neeb's army. It means that he's eventually able to pull that out into a victory as we're headed on to Tropical Sacrifice now. It's again a larger map, so we'll have to see if, Neeb is going to be doing kind of the same style of play that he just did. I mean, I like the +1 Blink Stalker attacks. I think they're very good. It just felt like Neeb got a little bit too aggressive with it and started to actually lose units in the trades.
We're gonna see something else this time around, however. Neeb getting the... No way, actually, he did open up with the Stargate there as well the previous time with the Oracles. Yeah, which I was just so... In my mind, it was like, well, he's just gonna go pure Gateway again. I am kind of hoping we see some other stuff here from Neeb. It's kind of wondrous, right? The diversity of PvZ that we're seeing out of Protoss players today, because what we saw out of Hearthstone, right? If we take that and then we take what we're seeing from Neeb here, they are polar opposites, like extreme polar opposites even, in the way they approach this.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think it's really interesting. Neeb has always been one of the more aggressive Protoss players. He's always been one who goes for these timing attacks, who plays the mid-game style. And Hearthstone, yeah, as we've seen and as he's showcased, he is a player who's much more comfortable in the late game, who kind of plays for that late game, that high-tech army. And so Protoss, I think, has some of the, especially in PvZ, has some of the most variety in build orders and types of play styles of any race. Because, I mean, you have everything ranging from a lot of cheese and aggressive builds that are very viable to your more standard things like the +1 Blink Stalker timing, to Stargates, to splash damage such as Disruptor drops. There's a lot of stuff that you could do, and I think that makes this matchup, when you have two players who are, you know, very kind of creative and like to go for many different builds, that can make this matchup very, very exciting.
Yeah, no, for sure. This game right here, Solar, I'm not quite certain what he was hoping with the circling numbers. It just kind of feels like he may have slowed down his own droning in hopes to get something going on the third base, maybe slow it down a little bit as well for Neeb. But, yeah, nothing of the sorts really being achieved. 2 adepts being enough to kind of keep himself safe there, and that's a little bit unfortunate. Okay, the circlings do manage to get inside of the main base somehow and start picking off probes. Alright, never mind. Calling me purple now and call me something else. They did a pretty good job actually, those circlings now.
No, get a full scout. I think interestingly enough here, Neeb it does actually added on 2 forges. I don't know if that was a mistake. Usually you do just go 1 forge with this build, but we'll see if he ends up adding on the +1 armor to these Blink Stalkers. Yeah, he's actually gonna do it. So double forge here for Neeb. So maybe on purpose. But 2 oracles still poking around. They really haven't found that much damage. In fact, there's been no worker damage for Neeb in this game. It's 12 Zerglings lost to the 3 probes lost. So overall, it's been a decent early game here for Solar. He's been able to completely deny the scout or the damage, early game damage of Neeb. And again, getting these oracles low, you know, the more damage you get onto the hull, of course, the weaker they are later in the game. So it ends up working out nicely. I feel like Solar's gonna be very comfortable with this position. But what I'm interested to see is if Neeb does end up switching up this Blink Stalker style, because what I've seen before in the past, what I was expecting in the last game, was more of one big attack where everything is grouped together. So, oh, look at this, Zerglings. Trying to find some value, going to be able to knock down a few of these units. Leave one of the adepts alive. But the style that I've seen from Neeb in the past is, you know, a bunch of Blink Stalkers attacking one area. And that last game was a bit more scrappy. It was a bunch of different units across the map trying to find damage into the worker lines.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna go back into that same playstyle, though, it looks like. Killing off a couple of those gateway units here or there, it doesn't feel that big to me, because we are gonna go up to, what is it, 6 gates in total at the moment. Things are gonna be quite easily replaced, and if we had a Protoss player here going for also high tier tech units like Disruptors or Colossi or something like that, killing off the same amount of gateway units seems more significant to me, because you just won't be able to move out with those bigger units anymore. You won't have the backbone to protect them there anymore. And here it's like, well, you know, I was already kind of planning to have absurd amount of gateway units, so I'll just get some new ones again. And it doesn't feel like it would slow him down as much. Maybe I'm wrong on this. Maybe the attack has been blunted now enough that Solar's just going to be able to squish this like, you know, any Zerg would like to squish anything, really.
Yeah, and right now we are just seeing both these players macro up.
Okay, Zerglings running into that gateway wall right there. Not going to be able to get much done, so nice infrastructure there for Neeb, setting up more units on, well, pretty much the one place that is still accessible for these units of Solar. Hydralisk could start bombarding with needles those gateways, of course, as well, so might break open the passageway once more. And with those 16 banelings in production, that could be quite a rush indeed.
Yep. And I'm liking this. I mean, the Hydra bust, we've seen it work time and time again. Going for it once more. Solar gonna try and break through, and there's just not a lot of splash damage here for Neeb. We actually see he doesn't have Storm done, so he actually just morphs in these Archons right away. Says, listen, I don't want to wait for these High Templar and for that Storm. I just want these Archons to be available, because right now, Solar's army is absolutely massive. This is a 5 hatchery Zerg that is producing off of 80 workers. I mean, it's not a massive worker count. Neeb actually has more workers than Solar. And, you know, I think he's actually gone a bit high on the probe count here, and that's where the issue is coming in, is he's trying to fight this now for dear life. The Argonauts doing their best to hold on, but the Banelings roll on in. Now that the Sim City is gone, there is nothing left as Solar just crushes through.
GG.
All it takes is all it takes is one fell swoop, and Solar is going to be advancing on to the playoff bracket. That means that Neeb is going to drop down to face off against the winner of Gung Fu Banda and Gumiho.